domestic service workers make up 4% of total jobs, the highest figure in Europe. Annalise is one of them. 27 years ago, she left the Dominican Republic for Spain to earn vital money for her family.
Hola, buenas tardes. ¿Para quién es? Envío a mi abuela.
Sometimes I send 30 euros. It's not a lot here, but back home it's a huge amount.
When she arrived, she didn't have a visa.
I began working as a cleaner. It was the only way to get my papers. But it wasn't until 18 years after my arrival that I was given a contract.
Like many domestic service workers, she's been exploited, forced to work extra unpaid hours, paid late or less than the minimum wage.
We're not eligible for the ordinary social security status. Ours is the least protected sector in the country. Our employers take advantage of the situation because most women who work in the sector are migrants.
Like Annalise, 80% of domestic workers are Latin American. The association CEDOAC fights to defend the rights of the sector. Today the group is showing a theatre performance about the exploitation of domestic workers.
Por ley me corresponde día y medio por mes trabajado. Ley, te pagamos un sueldo, te damos un techo. Y con todo lo que hemos hecho por ti, ¿todavía quieres esas vacaciones? No, señora. No, señor. Pues venga, muy bien. A trabajar. A trabajar.
These women are demanding the same rights for their jobs as for any other employment, says Carolina, the association's president.
We're asking for the right to unemployment benefit, to get social security equivalent to our salaries, and to benefit from proper work inspections.
Out of 700,000 domestic workers in Spain, more than 40% aren't declared to the authorities. Underpaid in the cash-in-hand market, many are dependent on food handouts from charities.
Muchas gracias. Buen día.
These two friends have been working on the black market for 2 years.
I needed a job, so I had to accept this one. I was getting paid 500 euros a month for 5 hours a day, but the job actually required 8 hours of work.
We can't live on that, but we survive. We either pay the rent or buy the food.
Earning less than 16 euros a day, Geraldo and Ospina live in extreme poverty, like a sixth of domestic workers.
¿Has estado empleada doméstica, no?
También sí.
Every day, the president of this foundation deals with dozens of cases.
Before the pandemic, these workers earned 10 euros an hour. Now it's even lower, 7.50 an hour. But they don't have a choice, they need to work. It's the slave trade of the 21st century.
A market where vulnerable workers accept abusive environments. Adriana from Peru is a home help. During the pandemic, the family that employed her didn't let her leave the house because of the fear of COVID.
Over the course of the last 14 months, I spent 12 of them indoors because I was a domestic worker.
As a live-in help, she's permanently available to the family. A huge amount of work without any escape.
I felt like I was in prison. I remember feeling like leaving and never going back. I wasn't considered a human being. I needed to get out even if it was just to go to the end of the road. Being confined was very difficult. At my job, they didn't show a shred of humanity.
Adriana's friend Delia has also made an enormous sacrifice. She left Paraguay and her family 15 years ago to find a domestic service job.
These are my nephews. I've never seen them. They're grown up now.
She paid for her son's studies with her work, but she didn't see them grow up.
I didn't want to, but I abandoned my family. I've been far away from them all these years, so I barely know my sons. I wasn't there for their teenage years.
During the pandemic, she's had her hours cut and therefore her income. A wake-up call for her.
I realized that people tell you matter, that you're part of the family. But when it comes to what matters to them, their money, they leave you aside.
Delia will soon be packing her suitcase to take a one-way flight back to Paraguay.